Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to yet another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at the high-grade Build Divers Mobile Doll Sarah. Of course, once again, this video right here would not be possible without those awesome people over at Hobby Link Japan, so if you want one of your own or for any of your Gunpla needs, check out that link down there in the description. Now let's get to this. So straight away, here is an overview of absolutely everything that comes in the box, and you'll notice straight away is there isn't a whole lot in here. Basically, it's just Sarah herself, some conversion parts for converting it from this mobile suit mode to what's referred to as real mode, and finally then there's an alternate pair of hands. That is it. I do know that once again this is a case of this is a particular character from the anime that doesn't really have anything per se, so you can't really fault it for not really having a lot in the box. However, if we do wind it back a little bit to the last kit that we saw just like this, which of course was the figurized Diver Nami, she came with a bunch of fun accessories that reflected model building tools, such as a nippers, airbrush, Gundam marker. It really was a whole lot of fun, the stuff that came in that box, so what's in here does feel a bit on the light side. And also, before I get into the nitty gritty of the actual review, it is worth noting that this is considered a high-grade Build Divers kit, whereas that Diver Nami we saw a while ago, she was considered a figurize. And of course that is a completely different line of model kits which include the Dragon Ball figures, or should I say Dragon Ball model kits, as well as the Ultraman model kits, etc. So they're more characters as opposed to mobile suits, so this is more considered as a mobile suit, hence high grade. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, here's what the kit will look like just put together with minimal effort. This is it, just out of the box and straight built. And I have to say, there is something about Bandai's model kits. They are able to do certain things that other companies, as far as I've seen, cannot do. And that, at least the one that stands out to me the most, is the varying textures they're able to do with their plastics. This kit right here has varying textures. Right now, this is in MS mode, or mobile suit mode, so that is why it looks so robotic. And as for those varying textures, we've got a full gloss on the hair sections, a semi-matte on the purple sections, and an absolute velvet finish white matte on all the white sections. This is even soft to the touch. How they actually pull this off of their plastics, I have no idea, but it is absolutely and extremely unique. And when they do this with the plastic, there is something that really stands out to me, and I saw it as well on the Kimaris-Vidar's legs, that brown matte plastic. When there are details and panel lines in this matte plastic, they are extremely, ridiculously sharp. They look excellent. And speaking of the Kimaris, that is exactly what this reminds me of. It has a bit of a Cubile kind of vibe, but even more so, it has that real Kimaris feel. All in all, it's a pretty cool effect, and this is an absolutely great looking kit. The only real down point I would say is the stickers. They don't look particularly that great. So if you want this to look absolutely and utterly perfect, of course, you'd be better off painting those metallic green sections, but all in all, looking fantastic. That sharp mold, the varying textures, the multiple layers to a lot of the parts, it all looks so damn good. It may not have the fun little accessories that the Diver Nami had, but on the whole, visually, it looks even better. In MS mode, it looks so cool. So now moving straight into the accessories, and like I said, not a whole lot comes in the box. The main event here is the ability to transform this from mobile suit mode to real mode. And real mode, of course, is what the character actually looked like in the anime Gundam Build Divers. The mobile suit mode is more so what we would have seen towards the very end of that anime. It is worth noting when you are transforming this from one mode to the other, you do have to disassemble it. It's pretty simple. There isn't really anything too breakable here, so there shouldn't be any issues with that. Basically, you just disassemble the upper body, you need to change out these joints here to the flesh-colored ones, you then swap out the entire shoulder section again to the flesh-colored plastic, and as for the head, you just pop off this front plate, take out that robotic face, pop in the human-looking one, and then finish it off with this front hair section that doesn't look as robotic. The back section of the hair, that stays looking like a robot, but all in all, it does give the model a completely different feel. Personally, I do prefer the robot mode. As I have an absolutely massive backlog of kits to get through, unlike Diver Nami, I didn't actually paint the eyes this time, I just used the stickers, so that is what the stickers look like there. Of course, I would recommend painting them. As you can see on the Diver Nami here, it is extremely effective when you detail up those face parts a bit. But all in all, still looks pretty good, just not as good. Speaking of the actual included stickers, we've got a pair of eyes looking forward, a pair of eyes looking to the left, and a pair of eyes looking to the right. As for the last things that come in the box, we do have a second pair of hands. These are your standard holding pair of hands. So even though this doesn't come with any of its own accessories, it can use other kits' accessories, and according to the instructions, even though her arms look weak, apparently she is strong enough to use the Beam Magnum from the Gundam Unicorn. So at least she's stronger than the Delta Plus. Well, it's hard not to be, that kit sucks. So there it is side by side with the 00 Diver Ace, so it is pretty big. There's a quick comparison once again beside the figurized Diver Nami. And finally, if you're into collecting figures and that's what you want it for, there it is side by side with the Figma and an SH Figure Art. So as you can see, it is a little bit bigger in scale than those would be. So now moving on to the articulation, and as always, from the head down. So first off, around on the back of the head, this section of hair is attached to the ball joint, so we do have side to side rotation, a little bit of up and down. So at the neck here, we've got this small double ball joint. That isn't really enough to give us too much of a giggity there, but we've got down and up, side to side. Ignore that. We have full 360 rotation. At the shoulder in there, we've got a ball and socket, as well as a moving section inside of the torso there. That means the arm can go all the way around. We've got a second joint in here, so that moves up and down. This little armor section on the shoulder that can move freely up and down slightly. Bend at the elbow. Standard ball and socket wrist. We've got this little flap section that moves up at the front, that moves the armor out of the way. As for the ab crunch, there it is all the way forward and all the way back, so we get a little bit of movement there. Side to side, not so much, but a little. The front skirting is on a ball joint, so there is a little bit of wiggle there, as well as side to side. The skirting armor on this thing is awesome. This side section here, that is a ball joint, so it moves slightly forward and back and up and down, not a lot, but we've got a second ball joint in here, and that attaches the white section to the purple section, so that lifts up and out and can move separately to that. That is pretty cool. The same goes for the rear section back here. This splits up and out in two different sections, just like so. That is pretty damn awesome right there. So that splits out like a set of wings. Pretty cool. So there is a look at them all flared out. That's a pretty cool design right there. That's awesome. Of course, that big skirting section comes with a price, so that means it will limit the articulation. What the f... Anyway, as I was saying, that skirting does get in the way of a lot of the movement, so you don't really get much of a kick up or out or to the back or anything like that. But if you take those sections off, you can get a better idea of what the articulation is actually like. So there it is all the way up to the front, all the way out to the back, and there are the legs all the way out to the sides. On top of that, we've got rotation at the upper thigh. There is the bend at the knee. This little bit of flappy armor can move in and out. And at the ankle, we've got that standard sort of joint you usually see at an ankle. So that means we've got up, down, rotation, and side to side pivot. So all in all, the articulation on this thing is pretty damn great. And with the really expressive skirting armor, it's pretty damn cool. Build-wise, it is solid for the most part, but as you can see, the base does attach into the large rear skirt, which is only attached by this one little segment right here. So that is prone to fall off if you're not careful. As long as you hold that in place while you're posing it, then you should have absolutely no issues whatsoever. So that is it for the review. And like what I said before with the Diver Nami, which I gave gold tier, this right here is gold tier as well. The only real down point I would say is the lack of accessories in the box. Of course, there is the option to transform this from mobile suit mode to real mode, which is pretty cool. But when you do get a kit like this and it doesn't actually have anything like weapons or anything of interest in the box, it is a bit of a letdown. But that is completely and utterly made up by the fact that this is such an incredibly executed model kit. The varying textures look ridiculous, the detailing is fantastic. If you paint the eyes on both variants of it, it will look so much better, so I recommend doing that. But on the whole, for this kind of model kit and at this price point, you can do no better. Anyway, as always, if you do want one of your own, there's a link down there in the description. You can get yours at Hobby Link Japan. As always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I'll see you next time. Mecha Gaikotsu now has merch. If you want to help support the channel, you can head over to Teespring, where the first batch of t-shirts and hoodies have gone live, including a limited edition RON version that will only be available for 20 days. After that, it will be gone and gone forever. So if you do want to help out the channel, now you can by buying some merch, or you can just forgive me for using this to shamelessly extend this video to the 10-minute mark. Bye bye!